Yo, what's up? It's EcBoy from Team Calamity. I don't normally do videos like this, but um, I was just looking around, and this stuff has been confirmed for a while, but no one's really done any videos on it or anything. So probably because it's Christmas break and stuff like that, people are probably busy. So I just thought I would do it because there is a lot of new stuff out, new mechanic, and there are good things to talk about. This is more normally like Devil May Duels kind of thing, but well, no one's been doing anything, so I just thought I'd do it. If you want more stuff like this, then just say so. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Um, this video is going to be looking at the brake ride mechanic and the new Narukami and Spike Brothers support from set 10 and the new start deck. Now, this is the first brake ride, and what brake rides are limit breaks that occur when another unit rides on top of it. So, like before, me and Devil May Duel thought that it was when they rode like Garmor, but limit breaks, and we were just like, lol, so bad. But no, these are effects that occur when a unit rides on top of it, which makes it not as bad. In fact, it makes it pretty good. This one, for example, Solitary Liberator Gancelot, has the ability when a gold paladin rides this unit, choose one of your vanguards and that unit gets plus 10k until the end of the turn, and choose up to 3 of your gold paladin rear guards and those units get plus 5000 until the end of the turn. So it's like a soul saver that also boosts your vanguard. So obviously a really good ability. Makes up for the fact that you have to minus yourself to ride again. And all of them are 11k. All of them also have the condition of when it's in the Vanguard circle and it attacks a Vanguard, it gains plus 2000 until the end of the turn. So they all swing for 13k, which means that they can keep up with cross rides. So I think that this is what Bashiro is trying to implement in order to try and make sure that the game isn't completely cross-ride reliant, because obviously they've introduced a lot of new cross-ride support for many clans, and they don't want those clans to just become entirely cross-ride focused, because that was how the game was previously with things like Dragonic Overlord the End, that really kind of stopped the game from progressing just because of how good those cards were. Really, you could only keep up with them by playing cross-ride decks. So this adds a lot of diversity to the metagame. And as a mechanic in general, I mean, it's pretty good. Having to ride additionally is pretty unnatural, and it is a -1. But at the same time, you gain some really good effects out of it. And with the new cross rides, things like ultimate breaks, they're really slow because you have to be at 5 damage in order to use them, and it is pretty preventable to get them to 5 damage depending on what deck you're playing. But you know, generally you can just keep them at 4 and they're stuck with a vanilla Vanguard that isn't really doing anything. Well, with these, you know, it's kind of the opposite. Once you get to 4 damage, I mean, you can play it slow, and the way that these are designed, they aren't just, you know, vanillas essentially in the Vanguard circle. They still have some function until you get to that limit break. And then when you are at 4 damage, you just ride, and then suddenly you gain this huge momentum shift with the break ride, and then whatever ability the Vanguard itself has, suddenly at 4 damage, you know, it just kicks off. Everything goes. And that completely contrasts the ultimate breaks, where it's really just wait until you get to 5 damage. As soon as you're at 5 damage, everything starts to kick off. You get these really broken effects, while break rides are more just solid momentum changing effects. I mean, these effects are really good. Like Gancelot's effect is Soul Saver plus 10k to your Vanguard. That's a really good effect. But it's at the expense of playing cross rides. So this adds more diversity. Now, they haven't confirmed any of the new Gold Paladin support outside of the generic trial deck stuff, which really isn't that good. You know, it's all those like 10k intercepts and stuff like that. So I'll go on to the Narukami support, or not, because it goes to this. Alright, so this is Eradicator Vowing Sword Dragon, which is the trial deck 9 break ride that you get from the Narukami trial deck. And its ability is it's the break ride. When a Narukami rides it, you choose one of your opponent's front row rear guards and retire it, and then you choose your Vanguard, and it gains plus 10k until the end of the turn. And then the same thing when it attacks, against plus 2k when it's in the Vanguard circle. So a pretty solid ability, maybe not quite as good as Gancelot's, but still, you know, it's 11k and it's a good ability. It's not bad, I guess, but this has a lot more use with the other Eradicator support, which I'll get onto now. So you have this. This is the main reason why Narukamis are really I don't really know what to say. Like, this card is really good. So Narukamis can really pick up after this. It's Eradicator Dragonic Descendant. So as you can tell, they're all being named Eradicator. Hint, hint. That is quite important. And this guy's effect is Limbrick 4, Counterblast 1, and choose 3 cards with Eradicator in their name from your hand and discard them. At the beginning of the close step of the battle, if this unit's attack did not hit, you may pay the cost. If you do, stand this unit and it gains crit +1 until the end of the turn. This ability can only be used once per turn. And then you can also, from the Vanguard circle, counterblast 2 cards with Eradicator in your name, and it gains power +5k until the end of the turn. So you may see this. I mean, it's an incredibly good effect because it still retains the twin drive. So you attack, doesn't hit, counterblast 1, counterblast 1. That's how good it is. And then ditch 3 cards that really aren't doing anything. You know, your dead grade 3s or triggers, whatever. Just whatever isn't really doing anything in the moment. You get to restand. It gains a crit, and it retains its twin drive as well. So it is just an amazing ability. It is so good. And it also, unsurprisingly, combos well with this, because when you're at 4 damage, you ride this, then this gives plus 10k to the Vanguard, which means that you don't have to boost it and you're still swinging for 21. Then your opponent pretty much, well, I don't know, it depends on the situation, but if they guard it, if they flash guard it or something like that, yeah, whatever triggers, just add whatever to your Vanguard, then use the effect, restand it, and then you get to boost it as well. So, you know, it is an extremely good ability, and really presents the new mechanics in a good light, because this is just really good, and I would play this over the Vermilion Cross Ride pretty much any day, especially since I mean, it is dependent on the other Eradicator support, but I'll show you the rest of the support, and it is mostly pretty good. They get this Eradicator Strike Dagger Dragon, which is an a curve clone for Narukami. So Narukami get their own Azel Superior Ride Chain. Superior Ride Chain? No, Superior Ride. My bad. And the ones they use it with are Sword Dance Eradicator Hisen and Conquering Eradicator Zuitan to get the 11k Dragonic Overlord, the end on crack that I just showed you. So this is getting interesting. I mean, as to how effective this would be, considering the break ride is interesting, because you would want to get the break ride off, but I mean, to be able to just straight away go into your main guy is pretty dumb. It's a really good card, and this is a good card as well, and it looks so cute. Look at it. I mean, it's like mini Vermilion or something. This is the grade 1 for the Superior Ride, and it is the Charge Gal clone. So I don't really know how effective that is. I mean, the thing with Gareth and Azel is that you would easily max Gareth because it's the 8k booster, so it just has so much utility. This, I mean, yeah, you do want to get the effect off on your main guy. Dragonic Descendant, but it is only a 6k, so that presents some problems. But I guess it's a means of balancing it out. If it was just with like Red River Dragoon and a 10k, then it would be way too good, the Superior Ride. But yeah, they get their own Charge Guard clone, which is worth noting. And note they all have Eradicator in their name. Then this is the other one for the Superior Ride, Conquering Eradicator Zuatan, and its effect is when its attack hits a Vanguard, if you have a Vanguard with Eradicator in its name, you choose a card from damage zone, flip it face up, and Soul Charge 1. So that's a really good ability. I mean, it's the Soul Charger and the damage on flipper in one, and yeah, you just use it for the Superior Ride, but it's also got a really good effect. And Eradicator in its name again. All of these have Eradicator in the name. I didn't put down the bad support. I guess is a nice way of putting it, because there is just some crap support. There is actually some bad support here, which I'll get onto, but this is just all the Eradicator stuff. And this is the grade 2 that swings for 12k if you have an Eradicator, Vanguard with Eradicator in his name. So that's really good. They're releasing these in the trial decks. So you know, Bushiroad are really trying to push this new mechanic and confront the cross ride patterns, which is good. I like it. Then Thunder Boom Dragon, which is a 10k vanilla, grade 2, with Eradicator in his name. And then this is another Vanguard that you can use, Eradicator Gauntlet Buster Dragon. And its effect is Limit Break 4. When you use a unit's effect to send an opponent's rearguard to the drop zone, he gains plus 3k and critical plus 1. And then, not Limit Break, just Vanguard. You can counterblast 2, but the cards you counterblast have to be cards with Eradicator in their name. And your opponent chooses one of their rearguards and retires it. So this isn't actually that bad as a backup Vanguard. I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's the counterblast 2 ability really isn't that good, but it's the fact that it gets plus 1 crit and plus 3k afterwards that can make it better. As a backup Vanguard, I guess, for Dragonic Descendant, as you ride this over the break ride, gains plus 10k. Use this, you kill something. Well, the opponent kills something, but you know, either way, if the opponent has a good field, then they won't want to kill anything. Kind of like Amon in that sense. And then it's 24k with plus 1 crit, unboosted for the turn. You know, it's pretty good, I guess. It's not bad. And it also gets its own Charge Guard clone with Eradicator in its name again. So it's pretty good. Then there's this, which is Sagramore clone, but it has Eradicator in its name. And the thing is, the Dragonic Descendant build doesn't counterblast very much, so this is a lot better than it would be in like Vermilion or something like that, where it's just completely unusable. And there's this, choose a card from your hand and discard it. When it's placed on rearguard circle, if you have a Narukami Vanguard and your opponent has 2 or less rearguards, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. So not really that consistent and not really that good, but I don't know, it has Eradicator in its name, so it's worth noting. This as well, pretty bad. Counterblast 2, when this unit attacks, hits the opponent's Vanguard. If you have a Vanguard with Eradicator in its card name, you can pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's front row rearguards and retire it. It's pretty much bad because it's 8k. If it was 9k, it would be a lot more playable, but it's 8k, so it's bad. Pretty much. And this is a grade 2. When it attacks, if the number of rearguards your opponent has 2 or less, gains plus 3k until the end of the turn. Again, not really that good because it's inconsistent. And this is another interesting thing. They're releasing K clones as well. So it's a grade 1, a 7k that gains 3k when you have Eradicator in its name. Just as with Gold Paladins, they have the same thing, grade 1 and grade 2, but for Liberator in its name. So they're releasing K clones, which is pretty cool. So this is alright. I mean, I always liked cards like these. It's got good utility. So, yeah, it's good. It's pretty good. And there's this, which is Counterblast 1, gains plus 1k, 7k grade 1, but has Eradicator in its name. Grade 1s is actually a bit of a problem for this deck because there aren't really any good grade ones, and they didn't release. Obviously, they can't release another generic 8K because they have Red River Dragoon. So it's difficult as to find what to run. But for everything else, you can just chuck in Eradicators and it works nicely. This is a Photon Wyvern Bomber, is that it? Clone. The grade 1 that boosts for 10k. It has the same effect, but has Eradicator in its name, which is good. So that's it for Narukami stuff. So honestly, the Narukami support is really good, and I'm excited for this set to come out because I will just buy it and proceed to win with a Dragonic Descendant because it's an amazing card. Now onto the Spike Brothers support quickly, and this is another break ride. When a Spike Brother rides this unit, Vanguard gains plus 10k, and auto when one of your Spike Brothers rear guards attacks, and that unit gains plus 10k until end of the battle, and at the beginning of the close step of the battle, return that unit to your deck and shuffle your deck, which is really, really good considering Dudley Rush and how Spike Brothers work. I mean, for that turn, all of your units essentially gain plus 10k. Like that's ridiculous. And if any of you know what Spike Brothers can do and have played against Spike Brothers, you'll know that just that is lethal. that is ridiculous. So the problem with this sort of variant will be consistency, because how you fit this Dudley Emperor and Juggernaut Maximum into the same deck will be a topic of interest. But I mean, wow, this break ride, it really just shows how it can exemplify what a deck can already do. Like this is just amazing. Oh yeah, all of them have Lord, by the way. If you have a unit that doesn't belong to the same clan as this unit cannot attack. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you're building your mixed clan decks. And there's Grateful Catapult, which is Counterblast 2, Limit Break 4. Choose a card with the same name, so Grateful Catapult. It's Persona Blast. And when it attacks the Vanguard, you pay a cost, and you search your deck for up to 2 Spy Brothers, call them to separate open rearguard circles, and shuffle your deck. So it's the same as Dudley Emperor, but it's a Persona Blast instead of Soul Charge 2. So it does have a better effect, but it's less consistent. So whether you want to roll with that over Dudley Emperor, I mean, that's your choice. But, it's interesting. It's another thing to work with. Then there's this. It has Skydivers. Wait, no, it doesn't have Skydivers ability, my bad. It's a 9k with the ability Counterblast 1, choose a Spy Brother from your hand and put it to your soul. When its attack hits a Vanguard, you can pay the cost. If you do such a deck for up to 1 Spike Brother, call it to an open rearguard circle and shuffle your deck. So that's just a not bad ability, I guess. You can experiment around with it, see if it works. And then this is a really good card. When it boosts a Spy Brother during the battle, the boosted unit gains an additional plus 4k. At the beginning of the close step, return this unit to the bottom of your deck. So it's a 10k booster that returns to the deck. Within the context of